Good evening, everyone, and welcome to ANF Plus, the First Alert Desk, on this Friday night. Hope you all are having a wonderful end of the week. It is good to be with you. My name is Blair Miller, evening anchor here at Atlanta News First, and man, what a week it's been, and ending the week. It is a busy weekend for Atlanta, so we've been focusing on all the events that are taking place, starting really yesterday, and we'll go through the weekend. I know some of you have been dealing with some storms here tonight. We'll hear from Cutter Martin here a little bit later. I want to show you the radar and what we're tracking out there tonight, kind of what's left of what's been out there. Some of these storms have been popping up since about 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, something we're following during our newscast earlier today. Our team of meteorologists were basically tracking these storms throughout the area. We saw some of this last night. There was some damage that we saw in our area. In fact, a church caught on fire last night because of a lightning strike. And so we had a reporter out there earlier today checking all that out. But you can see some of the storms that are moving through. Again, we'll hear from Cutter here shortly, and he will break down what's happening, what you can expect here tonight, but also for this weekend. It's been a nice relief, I think, from the heat that we had last few days. But as we get here started tonight, as I said, a number of major stories we're following here all week long, and as we get to the weekend, now we are here, and here's Tracy Hutchins with a look at what's making news here tonight.
The Georgia Bulldogs clash with the Clemson Tigers, kicking off the college football season and a busy weekend in downtown Atlanta. An emergency at the Fulton County Jail. The sheriff's office facing a budget crisis and a shortage of security officers. The USPS Inspector General says plant design, staffing challenges, and communication breakdowns at the Palmetto Mail Processing Facility are all to blame for mail delays across Metro Atlanta. A murder conviction reinstated for Adnan Syed, just 2 years after the man at the center of the serial true crime podcast was released from prison.
What do we want? Justice!
A Gwinnett County family outraged after a judge granted bond to Jesus Monroy. He's the man accused of killing their 16-year-old daughter. City leaders explore the path not taken. Atlanta bikers ride the route in Grand Park ahead of the next Atlanta Streets Alive. Loud and proud events across the city celebrate all things pop culture at Dragon Con or pop into a Black Pride weekend party in downtown Atlanta.
And that is some of what's making news here tonight and some of the top stories we're following back here in our newsroom as we get ready for our 10 and 11 o'clock newscast tonight. But we talk a little bit about what's happening this weekend. One of the big stories is it is a busy weekend for downtown Atlanta. And if you're planning to be in the downtown area, you certainly want to be aware of that. We have football fans here for the Georgia-Clemson game that will take place tomorrow. That's a noon kickoff. We also have Dragon Con here. And if you are not familiar with that, it is a major event. They're expecting about 72,000 people who are down here. And they are just enthusiasts about everything that has to do with pop culture and comics, movies, etc. Whatever it kind of fits through all that. But my point is there's a big parade there for that tomorrow, and there'll be certainly a lot of people in the city of Atlanta. You want to be aware of that. And our Yasmin Alston has been talking with people about what to expect and what you should expect, and here's a little bit of what she found.
I'm Yasmin Alston in downtown Atlanta, where there are already a lot of people in the area as Labor Day weekend kicks off with several events. Dragon Con has started attracting thousands, and then a mile from where we are right now, even more people are going to be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the Georgia-Clemson game. So you'll see people getting ready to tailgate in that area. It's also Atlanta Black Pride weekend with the festival, parties, and more. And with those things happening, it obviously means only good news for tourism in the city. We stopped at Centennial Olympic Park, where they just finished updating their visitor center right in time for weekends like this.
That from Yasmin Alston, a taste of what to expect if you're going to be in the downtown area. Keep in mind that parade that's happening, it starts around 10 o'clock tomorrow. Game time for the Georgia-Clemson game is a noon start, so certainly a lot to be aware of if you're planning to go to either one, or if you're just hoping to get lunch downtown tomorrow. Tomorrow may not be the day to do that. Finally, one other big story we've been following here today, and this is something we were updating last night as it was unfolding at the Fulton County Jail, and there's really more turmoil surrounding this, and this had to do with the security that was at the jail last night, how the sheriff responded, and then what's been unfolding today, the reaction from County Commission and a number of local agencies concerned about the security there at the Fulton County Jail after, some of the management is being called into question over that. And our Patrick Quinn has been out there today talking with the sheriff and talking with others about what is at stake, how secure is the county jail, and here's what he found.
I'm Patrick Quinn outside the Fulton County Jail, and just about 24 hours ago, roughly 80 security officers walked off the job here at the Fulton County Jail. The contractor said they just were not being paid. This is not the first time that the Fulton County Sheriff has failed to pay a contractor tied to their work here at the jail. Back in May, a company sued the Fulton County Sheriff for not being paid, and now county leaders, they're questioning the sheriff's ability to manage the funds overseeing the conditions inside the Fulton County Jail. We did reach out to Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labatt on this ongoing issue with a list of questions around his contracts. We have not heard back yet.
That update from Patrick Quinn, who was covering this last night and then into today. Now showing a live look outside, and as we approach this long weekend, some of you have a 3-day weekend. I know my kids are out until Thursday of next week, so they have a long break. But it is a big weekend for a lot of people who are really trying to soak up the last bit of summer, and we've seen some of the storms coming there. But it's a pretty picture now. I want to bring in Cutter Martin with the latest forecast, because we've had these storms yesterday, today a bit. It seems like, Cutter, most of it is starting to die down, right?
Yeah, we're losing the heat of the day. We need the heat, that energy to get storms going and for them to persist. And now that we're starting to cool, seeing the sun set, we're going to see, thankfully, some drier conditions this evening and overnight tonight, and that will be the trend on through the holiday weekend. Daytime showers and thunderstorms, you get to evening time, and we see that risk of rain showers and thunderstorms diminish. So that is kind of the name of the game, what we're going to be tracking here for the next, not just the next couple of hours, but once again tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening, quite a bit going on overall. You can see first alert radar right there. We're going to take you in depth here in just a moment, show you where it's raining now, where it is forecast to rain for the next maybe hour and a half or so, and then we'll really wind down that rain chance. Also, we're going to be chatting about the entirety of the weekend, walking you deeper into the weekend forecast here and in just a moment. So again, outside right now, we're starting to see showers and thunderstorms wind down just a bit. Hopefully you did get some rain. We kind of need it at this point, and some did manage quite a bit of rain today, 1 inch, 2 inches, some of us up around 2 inches of rainfall, and that fell in a relatively short amount of time. So not all bad news. We needed the rain. It was a hot work week. In fact, we tied our record high temperature yesterday. And we haven't had, widespread significant rain in quite some time. So not all bad news. Let's go ahead and zoom down into to radar, though. And again, I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, you can reach out on YouTube. Atlanta News First is the account that we are streaming on right now. One of a couple platforms that we can chat on if you have weather questions, comments, concerns, or maybe you got some storm video today, some pictures. We had trees reportedly down, and we've seen photos, so they did fall down, confirmed there in Cherokee County, also portions of White County, and even some gustier winds last night into the wee hours of this morning in northern Fulton County, eastern Cobb County. So if you have any photos, videos, you can text us. In fact, 470-777-WANF. Again, popping that up right now, 470-777 WANF. That is 9263. And if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, you can also text those in. In fact, while we're kind of sliding into the forecast, it doesn't look like we have any new questions, comments coming in, but I do encourage you, if you have any, to give me a holler on YouTube, or you can text the number that we just gave you, and I'll check back in every so often, see if we do have any new comments coming in. So as mentioned, today is a first alert weather day. Showers and thunderstorms, though, are starting to diminish, so improvement in the forecast, though we're not completely dry right now. Still tracking a little bit of rain on the west side into the Haralson County area, Bremen, north of Carrollton, downpour earlier over Villa Rica down to about the north side of Carrollton. Heavy rain with that earlier, lots of thunder and lightning. The remnants of those downpours have kind of kicked out a cool breeze, which has helped fire off new showers and thunderstorms across portions of Cleburne County, even northern and far western Randolph counties in Alabama. Go ahead and put a tracker on this. These storms actually moving in more of a northwesterly direction away from the metro Atlanta area and actually about to be out of the Atlanta News First viewing area here momentarily into Jacksonville, Alabama by 7:31. Keep in mind that is Central Time. Alexandria, Alabama by 7:36, Cobb City by 7:58, Central Time in those areas, and moving out of the Atlanta News First viewing area. So if you have evening plans, we're tracking a few sprinkles, some spotty, very light rain for the immediate metro. You can be alerted to any rain approaching your plans, or maybe rumbles of thunder, lightning. You can be alerted to that, perhaps even before you hear that first rumble in the distance, by downloading the First Alert Weather app. Obviously, rain's coming to an end this evening. Over the next couple of hours, gradually we're peeling back that First Alert Weather day. However, it's still a good tool to have, especially as we go through the weekend, because this will be a wash, rinse, and repeat kind of pattern across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta for the next 72, 96 hours. We're talking about through the duration of the long holiday weekend. So we're dropping the First Alert Weather day, rain chance down to 30% 9 p.m., taking it out of the forecast 9:30, 10, 10:30, with improving weather overnight tonight, and we're going to wake up to dry conditions tomorrow morning. But warmer than average. Again, we spent a few days cooler than average, and then we were much hotter than average, tying that record high temperature yesterday at 98. Today, we managed to warm into the low to mid-90s, and many spots in tomorrow morning also back above average. Temperature, your average low for Atlanta is 70. We're going 75 tomorrow. Though cooler outside of I-285, upper 60s in Carrollton, 69 LaGrange, 70 in Thomaston, mid to upper 60s Ellijay, Helen, Canton, down to the far north metro. So nice morning to get outside, but it will be a little warm, a little muggy, and then of course warmest or mildest inside I-285 tomorrow morning across the core of the city of Atlanta. So coffee walk tomorrow, we're waking up to upper 60s and 70s, humid out the door in the morning. If you're going to the Dragon Con parade tomorrow, make sure you're wearing the sunscreen. Find some shade. Lots of sun to begin the day. Maybe some patchy fog early in the morning, mainly before 9 a.m. Some patchy low clouds as well. Really just in areas that saw some heavy rain today. And then we're going to see actual cloud cover, those growing puffy clouds start to pop back up as we get into mid-morning, as we heat up. Temperatures back in the upper 80s as the parade concludes, and the actual, convention and all the activities really get underway and get into full swing as we get into the afternoon. With high temperatures again, peaking in the low to mid-90s, isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms will be popping up. And here is that kind of hour-by-hour timeline. We'll bring you back to 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Notice how we're pretty quiet. Maybe an isolated shower, Clay County, North Carolina, White County, Lumpkin County, Towns County, Union County, Fannin County, these areas. This forecast model has said maybe, an isolated shower or two well north of Metro Atlanta. The rest of us waking up to a mix of sun and some clouds, maybe some patchy, dense fog early on in the morning. Clouds will bubble up as we get into the afternoon, and notice between 1 and 4 p.m., showers and thunderstorms will start popping up. Just like today, favored areas north metro on up into the mountains. But also like today, a couple of these by late day could work their way back in a little bit closer into the metro and into the city of Atlanta. With that rain chance, isolated, hit or miss, not a planned canceller, but that rain chance lingering into early evening, I think through about your dinner plans or so tomorrow, maybe just after that. High temperatures tomorrow, 93 in Atlanta, 94 Eatonton. Lower 90s in Athens, LaGrange the same, Rome the same. Not a big, fluctuation or range, I should say, in temperatures tomorrow. Cool spot, cool. And mid to upper 80s. Ellijay, Helen, Fannin County, Blue Ridge included there. Raven County, Clayton, if you're headed up to Lake Burton, Lake Raven. Sunning up there, temperatures mid to upper 80s, humidity just a touch lower. But again, there will be isolated showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Isolated to scattered. I think mountain communities, if you're spending the holiday weekend up there, having a slightly greater chance of some rain, thunder, and lightning. 1 or 2 storms like today. Could get a little gusty, maybe some hail as well. We did have some tree damage earlier today in Cherokee County, also up in White County, again, speaking of mountain counties. And even last night and early this morning, some trees fell down with isolated, very spotty stuff here, but isolated strong to severe storms last night in portions of East Cobb and in northern Fulton County. Grilling tomorrow. And this will basically be the grilling forecast for Sunday and Monday as well. Temperatures hottest before 6 p.m. So if you're a grill master, get ready. It is going to be toasty on the grill with it being hot and humid tomorrow once again. We may not, be approaching records tomorrow, but it's still going to be hotter than average by 3, 4, 5 degrees tomorrow afternoon. And it could feel a few degrees hotter than that even with the moisture in the air factored in. Your First Alert 7-day forecast, more of the same Sunday, Labor Day Monday, slight boost in that chance of rain. I don't think it's going to be a washout, but we'll be watching the setup Monday. And if the forecast does indeed trend wetter, and it looks like your plans are going to be more impacted, we'll throw on that First Alert Weather Day. Give you the extra heads up, the First Alert, that, hey, a little extra rain than normal for a normal, Labor Day afternoon is in the forecast. But right now, looks like a fairly typical summer pattern, hit or miss, isolated to scattered, relatively brief. So hopefully you get the plans in just fine. Then we're turning cooler and back to drier weather as we get into the middle of the work week. High temperatures struggling to get out of the 70s in some areas, and in fact, I think some of us will stay in the 70s, especially far north metro, higher elevations, mountain communities as we get into Wednesday and Thursday afternoons. Do want to also talk tropics with you. We have quite a few areas that we are watching across the Atlantic Basin right now. You can see 3 in particular are highlighted. The wave furthest to the east has a 20% chance of tropical development in the far east Atlantic. You can see thunderstorms just to the south and west of the Cabo Verde Islands. That tropical wave or axis or cluster, whatever you want to call it, of showers and thunderstorms is moving west-northwest, and a more pronounced tropical wave, and one that is currently more likely to develop, and you may have already heard some buzz about this on social media, 40% chance, a medium chance of tropical development. Of course, as confidence increases, if it continues to look like these waves will develop, you can surely expect these chances of tropical formation to increase. And keep in mind, these are not tracks necessarily, just that anywhere within these shaded areas we could get a tropical system, depression, storm, or otherwise classified within the next 7 days. And again, a 40% chance, medium chance that will be the case for that medium, should I say that middle tropical wave. Closer to home here, some showers and thunderstorms, a very small, weak area of low pressure. Nonetheless, an area of low pressure across the northwestern Gulf of Mexico, been soaking portions of the upper Texas and southern Louisiana coastlines. A 20% chance of development. This system is basically going to meander between Vermilion Bay and, let's say, San Antonio Bay or Corpus Christi area and just offshore, meander back and forth for days. Hopefully the heaviest of the rain remains offshore, but not only could we see some heavy rain spread inland into these areas if you have travel plans, weekend plans down on the Gulf Coast, but also could technically see some slow organization of this system, and it could, there's a 20% chance this could become a tropical system. No threat to Atlanta. None of these currently of risk to Atlanta nor North Georgia, but certainly worth attention, especially that middle tropical wave that we were watching approaching the Caribbean here over the next few days. And we'll be watching that really for the next 7, 10, 12 days. No direct threat right now, but it is worth attention as we continue to keep an eye on it going forward. Want to remind you, I'm in for First Alert meteorologist Patrick Pete tonight on the 10 to 10:30 half hour on Peachtree TV, Atlanta's CW affiliate. Then First Alert meteorologist Fred Campagna back for that last half hour on Peachtree TV, and then he'll have the late news tonight, 11 p.m. on Atlanta News First WANF. Full forecast then, not anticipating too many changes in the forecast, so some new data will be coming in by then. Fred and I will walk you through that forecast, walk you through the weekend and that chance of maybe a few more showers and thunderstorms in the First Alert forecast. So we'd love to have you tune in then. A reminder, you can always get the forecast maybe if you're out and about on this evening, like so many are, at atlantanewsfirst.com. Also in the First Alert Weather app. Just search Atlanta News First or First Alert Weather in your app or Google Play Store, and it's a quick and easy download. In fact, Fred's about to record an update. We'll have it here in the phone here probably within the next 45 minutes or so. Live look outside on top of the Atlanta News First station roof, looking back towards Midtown there in the distance. Still some clouds out there, but we're drying out. Chance of rain gradually diminishing. Full forecast update starts once again just a little bit on Peachtree TV, then Atlanta News First.